again, and welcome to another episode of I Want to Talk About This Album. My name is Dan, and today I'm going to go off script a little bit off topic. I've done this many times, maybe not as much recently as I used to do years ago, but sometimes something happens to me on the day that I'm doing these videos, and I feel like sharing it. To be honest, I'm not married, I don't have a girlfriend, I don't live with my family, I live by myself, I don't really have family. I have some friends or people I consider friends, but nobody that I can really, sit down and cry to or put my head on someone's shoulder, something like that. So these things happen sometimes, and I feel like sharing it with you, the valued viewer. If you don't like it, well, move on, I guess. Let's say if you like it, or if you're okay with these, drop a comment, is what they say. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Are you okay with me polluting these episodes? There's not a lot of people watching these anyway. These episodes get like 40, 50 views sometimes. Am I okay doing this? I mean, they're my videos. I can do whatever I want, but if you like the stories, let me know. If you don't, honestly, I don't want to hear because I'm very sensitive. So there's that. So something did happen today, and it's been going on for a couple times, but something more specific today. Before I get to the episode, which is, as you can see down below, the Rolling Stones, Tattoo You. All right, I will get to this. So I mentioned at least once in a previous recent video that I'm moving. I have to move out. The owner of this building that I live in, there's only 4 units. I'm the only one who's lived here for the last at least 2 years. And so they're selling the building. She's selling the building. So I have to get the fuck out, is what she said to me. I think that those were her exact words. So I've been looking for a new place recently. And it's very difficult, man. Finding a new place to live is very difficult, especially with my, sad to say, my budget. And, fortunately, I guess I don't have a lot of needs. As I said, it's just me. I don't have a wife or kids or a girlfriend or family to consider when I find a new place. It's just me and my cat and my 2 dogs, which makes things much more difficult. But I am somewhat limited in my budget. And it is difficult for anybody to move. Moving is a very stressful, difficult, time-consuming, it's expensive proposition. And I'll try to do this, this before I get to the episode. I'll try to do this providing all the pertinent details, but I will try to maintain some sense of brevity, and I think I've already lost that. So, and in Mexico, I think it's even worse because a lot of people in this country don't care about details. Little details such as in an apartment or a house listing, like listing the price of the place or the location of the place. Yes, I have seen places, they don't list the price. They don't put a location. In an apartment or house listing for rent or for sale, there should be essentially no questions for the potential buyer or renter. Rentee? Am I the renter or the rentee? I'm renting it, but I'm not renting it out. I don't know. So there should be no questions. Because in some places they include the water, internet and gas, and electricity maybe. I think they call those utilities. Some places don't. Put that in your listing. Some places accept pets. Some don't. Put that in your listing. Some people, or some places, I've seen some really weird things in Mexico. Single women only. I see this great place. I see the pictures. It looks good. And then the listing, it says women only. I don't know why. Other ones will say, this is strange and this doesn't affect me. Oh, it does affect me. Married couples only. I don't know if that means no single people or no gay couples or no roommates. It has to be a married couple. I don't know. So, and also, man, people put the worst pictures, just the absolute worst pictures, like garbage, horrible, poor lighting, just poorly framed, poorly composed, terrible. It makes a difficult prospect even more difficult. And so I've looked at, online, I've seen many listings, but some are just not worth it. I've made appointments and gone to see, I think, 7 houses. One was borderline, one was okay. It had some overall it was pretty good. It had no kitchen whatsoever. That's another thing. These listings, I've seen, I think at least 2 houses, they have no kitchen whatsoever, no area to cook. I just have this little tiny kitchen. I have two burners. I don't have an oven. That's okay, because I haven't cooked with an oven for about 20 years. But I just have the 2 burners there, and my counter space is about this wide by about this deep, and then beside it there's another about this long and this deep. So that's it. But I've seen 2 places that have no kitchen, no sink, no cabinet, absolutely nothing. Put that in your listing. Don't waste my time and your own time. So much for brevity, right? So I saw a place a couple days ago, a listing, and the guy's pictures were shit. Just really, really bad pictures. There were 5 pictures, and that's another thing. Sometimes the pictures, they make it look good, and then when you see the place in person, you try to match it up and you go, this doesn't look, the pictures make it look much better, and then when you see it in person, it's no good. This was the opposite. The pictures didn't look that good, but it looked like it had potential. It was priced right, and I thought, you may as well go and see it. The pictures were horrible lighting, blurry, didn't really show the full picture. They were just really, really bad pictures. The description was even worse. The description just said, it said the price. It said, I did see one listing yesterday or 2 days ago. It said, safe house for rent, or house in a safe neighborhood. That's it. That's all. Nothing. And one single picture of the building, the house. That's it. Nothing. It didn't say the price. It didn't say the neighborhood. It didn't say what was included. It didn't say how many bedrooms. Nothing. So anyway, this guy's pictures looked, good enough that I thought, okay, it's worth checking out, but really not good. This was the opposite of the other one. When I went there, I thought, man, this place is beautiful. It was really, really nice. It had a pool. And it had a beautiful, nice, very, very well-maintained, well-manicured little garden outside, a little patio that I would have been on outside the garden. And I thought, why didn't the guy list this? All he listed was the price and I think that the general location where it is. That's it. He didn't list what's included, what's not included. That's it. And a lot of these places, they say no, or some say no animals. And then I've gone to see them, or some places they don't say no animals. Then I go to see it and I look at it and I say, Can I have my dogs in here? No pets allowed. Well, you just wasted my time and your time. And I guess I could ask that in advance. But so I thought, oh man, this place is awesome. I really, really liked it. There are a couple things. You're not going to get anywhere that you're going to love everything about. There are places I've seen that I like nothing about, but very few. There's always going to be, I think they call them pros and cons, right? And so this place, easily the only one that I've ever even considered of the 7 that I've seen so far, this is the only one that I right away I thought, okay, this is worth looking into. And beautiful, beautiful place. The location is not that great. The neighborhood is quite ugly. I don't think it has a bad reputation in terms of crime or danger. It's just not a particularly nice neighborhood. There are a lot of things around it. Again, with the brevity, let's go on that. So this is really cool. But I thought there are a few things. It is notably smaller than my place. Like as I was looking at it, I spent 20 or 25 minutes there looking and trying to think, okay, I could put this here and this piece of furniture here. This one, I don't know what I would do with that. Lots of storage here. I could put those things there. The kitchen was massive. Kitchen is 4 times the size of this kitchen, but the bedroom is maybe 20% smaller. Bathroom is twice the size of my bathroom. So the size overall was okay. Forget about the Rolling Stones. This is about my hunt for a new place to live. I'll try to remember to put that down below where the episode of Rolling Stones Tattoo You begins. So that was the big thing. I thought, okay, there are an amazing, amazing view. It's backed onto a ravine in my city. I think there are 11 ravines that run north-south that kind of dissect the city like this. This is on the edge of the ravine, had a beautiful, beautiful, really, really nice view with the pool and the beautiful garden. I thought, oh man, he accepted pets. There was a spot for them outside on the patio. But I was thinking, I don't know if I can make this work with the size and everything. So I thought about this for a couple days, and today I thought, you know what? I'm not going to find a nicer place. I could find a bigger place. I could find a place in a better neighborhood. I won't find a nicer place. This place was very new, very, very new. Everything was new. The walls were beautiful, like these stone walls, very modern looking. And I thought, no, I really do want to live here, but I need to go back again and see it and try to focus more on where I'm going to put everything and take some measurements. I was going to take my measuring tape and measure, some of my furniture and how wide my room is here and how wide the other one is and where how I could make things work. So when I was there the other day, I was telling the guy, I'm interested in this, and I asked him, can I take a video? Because I want to take a video, and it is on my YouTube channel. It's private. Nobody is going to see it. It's not meant for anybody to see. It's just purely for me. It's just like taking notes. Well, this is like a video note. I want to see what it looks like, remember everything. And so when I asked him if I could take a video, he kind of hesitated, and he looked like he was unsure. Almost even looked like he was going to say no. And he said, well, yeah, okay. So I took the video. It was, I think, 2 minutes and 2 seconds, I think, very short, looking around. But I wanted to go back again, as I said, to take measurements and do more planning. So I told the guy today, and I told the guy when I left, when I saw it the other day, I just said, just so you know, I am very interested in this place, but I need a few days to, take care of some things and do some planning. But I promise I am interested. I didn't want to leave the guy hanging. I said, if somebody else rents it, Nemo though, but just so you know, I'm interested. So I sent him the message today, and I said, can I make another appointment to come look at that place again? And he said, are you going to take videos or pictures? And I wasn't planning on it anyway. I probably wasn't. I said, no, I said, no. And he said, okay. I said, I just want to take some measurements. And he said, okay. And then he said, so I said, when can I see it? And he said, well, I'm really busy. I said, okay, well, what about tomorrow? Can I come tomorrow? And he said, you know what, to be honest, I don't think I can show it. I'm too busy to show it. And I asked him, I said, like, you're too busy today? And he wasn't very clear. Are you too busy today? Or that's it? And he said, this is so fucking weird, and this is also what I have to deal with. He said, you saw it once, why do you need to see it again? He said, I'm not comfortable with you taking videos or pictures. And I said, I told you, I'm not taking videos or pictures. I just want to see it again, and I want to measure some things. And he said, well, if you saw it already and you like it, I don't know why you need to see it again, and I'm not going to show it to you again. This is the attitude of somebody who is trying to sell or rent their product, or in this case, their house. This is part of an apartment building, small apartment building, that the guy, he was building the building himself. I guess he's an engineer and maybe a construction worker too. He was dressed like a construction worker, and steel toe boots and everything. I don't mean like the mirrored sunglasses and the white hard hat and the cut off denim shirt. But he was dressed like a construction worker, and he was very nice when I saw him in person. And but yeah, what an attitude on this guy. He said, yeah, I don't want to show it to you again, but he did. And I said, so are you finished showing it? And he said very clearly, it is available. If you want to rent it, it's yours, but I'm not showing it to you again. What the fuck? Like, it's not like, somebody's selling, their used blender or something, or selling something where you just say, yeah, I'll take it. The guys, this is an apartment. This is something that is, I guess, ideally would be my home for several years, and I'm going to be giving this guy a lot of money. I want to make sure everything is okay. The guy, this was just like over his head crazy that somebody would want to take a second look. Isn't that common in a lot? Same with a car. I mean, you generally are going to look at a car unless you know right away that you like it or don't like it. Maybe you want to look again the next day or ask some more questions or something. But a place to live, I don't know. I think every place I've lived, I feel like I've seen it probably twice. There's no way. I can't imagine seeing a place once and saying, yes, I'll take it. This is where I want to live. Unless it's absolutely perfect and I have no doubts or no questions. So I guess that is it's not in my plans. Which is really bad because that place was really, really nice. It would have looked great in these I Want to Talk About These album episodes. Anyway, so that is it. Thank you for listening. Goodbye. Oh, no, wait, I have an episode to do. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. So I have to switch focus now, switch mode. So now I'm going into, I want to talk about this album mode. Mark the time. I'll try to note it down below. So this is Rolling Stones Tattoo You. I got this 2 visits ago to El Chopo. It was quite cheap, I think 100 or 150 pesos. And strange, when I got it, when I got it home, I realized there were 2 records inside. I don't know why, but there was a second record. I thought, this is not a double album, is it? And no, it was the exact same record twice. I don't know why. Now, I've done, I think, 2 Rolling Stones episodes before. I did Let It Bleed, and I did Undercover of the Night is the song. Undercover is the album. I did those 2. And I've mentioned there, I don't think there are too many people that would say, I don't like the Rolling Stones. I do like the Rolling Stones, but I'm not a big fan. I know their hits. I know a few non-hits, album tracks, and I like them well enough. I would never say I don't like the Rolling Stones, but they just never caught my attention. And part of the reason for that is this record came out in 1981. And when this record came out, I was 11 years old. And at that point, I'd been listening to Kiss for about 5 years. I guess it was around 80 or 81. 80, I was discovering I had like Back in Black, Paranoid, maybe 1 or 2 Van Halen records. That's the kind of music I was listening to. And those bands at that time, at least for me, not including Black Sabbath, who at that point had been around for 11 years, the Rolling Stones were old guys to me. They had been around at this point in 1981. I guess they started in 64, 65. So they had been around for only, 16, 17 years, somewhere around there. But 16 or 17 years now is not that long. 16 or 17 years back then, that was an eternity. I just thought, these guys are old. They're both, their age and in terms of their career, they've been around forever. I don't really care about the Rolling Stones. And it was hard to ignore the Rolling Stones because I used to listen to the radio a lot. And obviously, the Rolling Stones are, presumably, I never listen to the radio now, but still are all over classic rock, and they sure were back then. But I did know, obviously, I knew 3 songs from this record. I'm sure you know what they are. So today was my first time listening to this record in full. And I have to say I like it. It is a good record. Now, here's where you old school Rolling Stones fans come in, either who are older than me or have been listening to the Rolling Stones for a long, long time, or maybe you're even younger than me, but you've been listening to Rolling Stones for a long time. Maybe you're a Rolling Stones expert. I consider myself kind of a Who expert, even though the Who are just as old as the Rolling Stones. Tell me, what is the general consensus of Tattoo You? I feel like it's considered, it's up in the upper echelon, I think, of the Rolling Stones catalog. I think it's one of their classics. I feel like a lot of people would say this is their last classic album. I don't know what came after this. I know in order, Bigger Bang or Big Bang Theory, Bigger Bang I think it was called. Voodoo Lounge, Steel Wheels came after that. I don't know what else. I know those are not, obviously they have their fans, but I don't think any of those are considered as highly as Tattoo You is. Is that true, or am I wrong? I think that's right. And there are a lot of great things about this album that really sound like how I expect the Rolling Stones to sound. Really classic Stones songs, which I will talk about when I do the track by track. So let me go through this first. Because it is a Mexican edition, it does have the song titles in Spanish, which I always get a little kick out of that. Oh, and let me show you. And it's kind of beat up, which I guess is, man, and when I was in Bangkok and Istanbul looking at records, everything is in great condition. And when I've received albums from my friend Miguel, thank you, who recently got me, he got the Peter Criss Out of Control solo album, which is the second version I have of that piece of shit. Thank you, Miguel. And he gave me Kiss Killers, which I did an episode of, I think that was, these episodes I'm doing far, far in advance now. I think that was 2 episodes or last episode ago. They're in amazing condition. Maybe Mexicans don't take care of their stuff because it's pretty hard to find Mexican records that are in good condition. And this one is garbage. Yeah, the spine is completely worn. You can see all kinds of scuff marks on the front, all kinds of scuff marks on the back. And inside, It does. Let me take a look. Yeah, look at this. The sleeve is tearing apart there. Let me take a look. It does have this insert, which is the lyrics in English. Only the song titles are in Spanish. And what is this? There's the inner sleeve. Nothing really to see there. And the record. Is it the Yellow Rolling Stones? Yeah, I love that label. I think I only had a few Rolling Stones singles. I might have had Start Me Up, the single, I don't know. But, so I will go through this now track by track. Oh no, sorry, I said I was going to, whoops, I'll get back here to you. I'll read the song titles in Spanish. So, let's see, the first one is Start Me Up, which is Enciéndeme. That was hard for me to say. Enciéndeme. Next is Agarra el Fuego, hang fire. Esclavo is slave. Little TNA is Pequeño TEA. Black Limousine is Limusina Negra. These are pretty simple. Neighbors is Vecinos. Side 2, Worried About You is Preocupado por Ti. Tops is Lo Mejor. Heaven is El Cielo. It's funny in Spanish, there's no word for heaven. There's cielo, which is sky, but it's also heaven. No Use in Crying is Es Inútil Llorar. And Waiting on a Friend is Esperando un Amigo. All right, pretty simple there. Very literal. All right, so because I hadn't heard this record today, and I listened to it twice, I had to take notes, and I will refer to those notes right now. So yeah, the first song obviously is Start Me Up. I don't need notes for that. This is obviously a Stones classic. I would assume since this record came out in 1981, I would imagine they've never, this is like their, Detroit Rock City or something, to put it into Kiss perspective. I doubt that they've ever not played this on any tour. It's classic, that riff, very classic. That sounded terrible, but you know how that riff for Start Me Up goes. Very, very, for me, a real representation of how the Rolling Stones should sound. That's me as a, very casual Rolling Stones fan. It's a classic song, Start Me Up. The riff, just everything about it is, it's got that, the Rolling Stones swagger and strut and everything. It's an excellent song. Something that about this song, the lyrics. So towards the end, you make a dead man come. You make a dead man come. Now, that's very strange because that they could get away with this because that's quite vulgar. And this song was on the radio all over. And I don't know why it was never flagged. Some things, there are a couple of songs that I'll reference in a minute. And I don't know if it's the band, if the bigger you are, you can get away with more. Or if it's just because it's kind of subtle in here, and maybe just the word come is not offensive by itself. In the context, you make a dead man come is maybe, obviously it doesn't bother me, but would be considered vulgar. But I remember them playing this on the radio, you make a dead man come. And the other songs, there's another Rolling Stones song called Sparks Will Fly from, I don't know, Voodoo Lounge, maybe 94, somewhere around there. And I really like that song, and I don't have that album, but I do have that song on the Rolling Stones 40 Licks compilation, which I do have. And there's a line in there, he says, "Yeah, I want to fuck your sweet ass." Mick Jagger sings, "I want to fuck your sweet ass." And that used to get played on the radio station that I used to listen to at that time, 97.7 Hits FM in St. Catharines, Ontario. They used to play that song, and I used to think, again, it doesn't bother me, but how is that allowed to say, "I want to fuck your sweet ass"? Not just the word fuck, but in the context, "I want to fuck your sweet ass." But they got away with it, and although that wasn't a big hit like Start Me Up. But the other one notable is Who Are You by The Who. Who the fuck are you? Can't believe it. And that was on the radio. God, that was a massive radio song. And it was never edited, at least what I heard. It was always the full song, Who the Fuck Are You? No idea. All right. Second track is Hang Fire. I like that song a lot. It's another one. I think it's more classic Stones. This was the other song, obviously, that I knew. This was also not a big radio hit like "Start Me Up" or "Satisfaction" or "Can't Always Get What You Want," but it was. Was there a video for "Hang Fire"? What was that? The one where Mick Jagger was prancing around in like yoga clothes or something? Was that "Hang Fire"? And I'm not sure. Next is "Slave," "Esclavo." This has a drum intro that for me was reminiscent of Honky Tonk Women, maybe only because they both had drum intros. But I like this song. Actually, I love this song. This was "Don't Want to Be Your Slave." This was my notes here. It's kind of long and jammy. It's slower. It's got a really cool groove to it. Saxophone solo. I'm not really into saxophone music or music that contains saxophone, but it's fine on here. It's suitable for the Rolling Stones. And I love this song. "Slave" I thought was an excellent song. Next is "Little T and A." Now in the song, they say repeatedly, the refrain I think it's called, is "She's my little rock and roll." So they don't actually say "She's my little TNA," they say "She's my little rock and roll." So I don't know what TNA means. It should be "She's my little R&R." Or sorry, the song title should be "Little R&R." I don't know what TNA is. Is it R&A, Royal and Ancient, like the golf people that govern golf in the UK? Little TNA? No idea. I think it's "She's My Little Rock and Roll." This, I don't know who sings this. It's definitely not Mick Jagger. I'll assume it's Mick Jagger. I don't know if anybody, again, I'm not a big enough Rolling Stones fan to know if anybody sang songs. I think Keith always had at least one song on Rolling Stones records. So I'm going to assume that it's Keith Richards singing, or as Mexico they call him, Keith Richards. So I'll assume that it's Keith. And it's an excellent song. Again, a very classic Rolling Stones song. Next is "Black Limousine," and I like that they spelled limousine, as they're British, Limou, as it should be spelled. "Black Limousine." This one, I didn't really like this one too much. It's bluesy, and I don't really like blues. There are some exceptions, but generally speaking, I don't really like bluesy songs. It's got some boogie piano, it's got some harmonic in it. Not my style. Next is "Neighbors," "Vecinos," and another, I think the song is again a very classic Rolling Stones song, especially this era, and another saxophone solo. I like it. Next, this would be side 2. First song is "Worried About You." I loved, this is probably my favorite on this record. I loved it. I love his, Mick Jagger's, I guess it's a falsetto voice, just like on "Emotional Rescue," and "Emotional Rescue" is maybe one of my top 5 Rolling Stones songs. I really love when he sings like that. And there's another Stones song, and when I was writing the notes, I couldn't think of what it was, where he sings, maybe there's more than one, where Mick sings in that really high, that falsetto voice. It's kind of a quiet song. Great guitar solo in this. "Worried About You" is I think is my favorite. Next is "Tops." This one is the opposite of the falsetto. This begins with Mick singing in kind of a lower register, almost like a spoken word thing. It's kind of quiet to start, then it kind of builds up again, then it comes quiet down. Pretty good song. Next is "Heaven." I thought this one probably stood out more than anything on the album, not because it's good, and not because it's bad either, but just it's for sure the most different from all the rest. This song, it doesn't fit in. That sounds bad, but it's just the other songs are either kind of, that Rolling Stones rock and roll, or they're kind of quieter bluesy songs like this. But "Heaven" is kind of weird. It's the word that I thought of is ethereal, and I'm not even sure if I know what that means, but I feel like it kind of maybe explains or describes heaven a little bit. I don't know if it's ethereal or maybe trippy or psychedelic, but definitely different. It was pretty good. Next is "No Use in Crying." This is another one that's a little bit of a quiet song, maybe ballad adjacent, and fine, not good, not bad. It's just okay. And then the last song is "Waiting on a Friend." This is the third of the 3 songs that I knew before I listened to this album. I love, and I've always loved, "Waiting on a Friend." I love that kind of, I call it like a breezy, that breezy guitar riff that opens it, and it's kind of a nice, gentle, I don't know, emotional song, very maybe heartfelt. And music, I think musically the lyrics really, really suit the music. Waiting on a Friend is fantastic. All right, so that's it for the Rolling Stones, Tattoo You, and as well for my stories. As I said, if you're offended by the stories, if you say, get the stories out of here, you can let me know. But if you like them, and it's not like I do these in every episode, but I just wanted to get that off my chest today. All right, so that's all for this album. This is the Rolling Stones, Tattoo You.